So the EV tax credit is ending at the end of September here, and a lot of people are showing interest in buying a Tesla Model Y or Tesla Model 3. So this is my 2026 Model Y. I already have 10,000 miles on it. I drove it all over the country already and back to Arizona. So I'm going to cover everything that you would want to know through the beginning of your ownership, some regrets I have with this vehicle to help you configure yours perfectly, because it is a big purchase. I also owned the previous generation Model Y, so I can speak to sound insulation, if the suspension's better, if the efficiency is better on this new version. So this video is going to be broken down into 6 sections, and I will have them time-stamped below to help you navigate this video for whatever information you need. First, we're going to start with the exterior, like the wear and tear and tint and paint protection film that I've done to show you what's happened to it. Then we're going to go to the charging and the battery degradation. We're going to talk about the suspension. We're going to talk about overall wear and tear on the vehicle. We're going to talk about the interior, so any wear and tear on the interior, and then what I like that they've upgraded on this new model. And we are going to end the video with any accessories that I've found really useful in the first 10,000 miles. So first, let's talk about the exterior and what I've done. So I have paint protection film on the entire vehicle. Now, people said, hey, why'd you cover the entire vehicle? That's so expensive. The reason I covered the entire vehicle is because I was doing a video with Expel, and I wanted to show all of the capabilities. That way I could showcase a car that had everything done to it. Now, if you're like, Ben, what do you recommend for paint protection film? I think a full front is the best value, because that covers your front bumper, your hood, this panel here, it covers your mirror cap, and it covers your headlights. So that, in my opinion, is the best value, but some people want to go all the way. I also put windshield protection film on the car, and that's where there's been a little bit of an issue. It's my fault, but it's also a warning to you guys. So I have windshield protection film on here. It's I think it's an 8mm film, and it's been excellent in terms of protecting the windshield from rock chips. I have it on my Rivian as well, and I stand by it. What happened to me is I drove across the country and got bug guts all over it, and I didn't wipe it off right away. So I just took the Model Y and had its first wash done after being ceramic coated, and even the professional detailer said, I can't get, you can see like right here, there's a bug guts that they just couldn't get off. Now, I guess I could take my nail to it or whatever, but it's just stuff like that is not coming off, and so that's a warning to you. The film works, but if you're someone that doesn't like to keep your car clean, I wouldn't get this film because it's going to stain. Then you're like, well, what about the paint protection film? I have 0 issues with staining on the paint protection film. This was covered in bugs. Everything came out perfectly. I've never had an issue with paint protection film staining or being able to get something out of it. It's been excellent. So that's all been good. Now, the tires on the vehicle. I absolutely love these tires that the new Model Y comes with the 20-inch wheels. So these are the Hankook Ion Evo all-season SUV tires. So if you're wondering to yourself, wait, what tire should I replace with? I recommend this tire. If you're looking to save a little bit of money, you could go with a Salem tire. The Salem tire is just gonna ride a little bit firmer. But overall, I like this tire a lot. I like the wheels a lot. Coming around the back here, I did accidentally drive. I thought the paint, I didn't even know that I did it, but I saw guys painting lines on the highway, and that got paint all through the wheel well on the inside of there. So over time, that will chip away, but just a little issue that I had there. So as far as the exterior of the vehicle, because of the paint protection film, keeping it clean, the car has been perfect. I like the look of it. The other thing that I absolutely love is the headlights, the matrix headlights. Basically, it'll keep your high beams on, but it'll bend the light in front of you. If there's an oncoming car, you'll see them shut off part of the lights so it doesn't blind them, and that's really cool. You notice that in rural areas. In Phoenix like this, it's a concrete jungle, so, you know, unfortunately, I don't get to avoid blinding people. So overall, I think, and then the rear of the car, the redesign they've done with the light bar and everything, I think that looks so cool. So overall, I'm really happy with the exterior of the vehicle. Now let's talk about battery and the charging with battery degradation. So currently I have 24% battery, which if you tap that, that's 71 miles of range. When I got this car new, 303 miles of range is what you get with the 20-inch wheels. 327 miles of range is what you get with the 19-inch wheels. And then if you go to the rear-wheel drive Model Y, you get 357 miles of range. My one big complaint on the road trip that I did is I wanted more range. Now, I got the Model Y that has the least amount of range. It would have been nice to have that rear-wheel drive one that gets 357 miles of range. That's the number that I think, you know, when you're real world doing over 300 miles of range, you're happy. So if you're gonna be doing a lot of road trips, I wouldn't worry about ride quality with the wheels between the 19s and the 20s. Don't worry about ride quality, they're both very good. But if you're going to be doing a ton of road trips, if you want your battery to last as long as possible, then you're going to want to go with the smaller diameter wheels, the 19s. And you can also make them look better, and you can do a lot of things to them, because I don't think they quite, I think the stance of the car looks good with the bigger sidewall. I don't think the wheel itself looks quite as good as the 20s, but you take the hit, and I paid for it on the long road trip. So currently, if I do 100% charge with the battery, it says 296 miles of range, so that's 3% loss. But that's also may not be accurate if I were to charge the car up full, and depending on driving habits, I saw the range go up to 307 at one point. It's all how you drive the vehicle. So if you drive it efficiently, then you're going to get the mileage, and you may even get more than what's rated on here. So there's really not been any battery degradation. And then just a reminder of just like some of the features. It's 110 degrees outside as we're filming right now. And I was able, while we were filming outside the car, to leave it on keep. So keep mode, if you tap your climate here and then you tap keep, you have dog mode, and then you have camp mode, which I used in my camping video. So when you put it on dog mode, it puts a message up here that says my owner will be back soon. Keep is like for if you're a human being, which I know some of you aren't. You can go into the grocery store and for 10 minutes and just leave your car running, you come back, it's perfectly cool. I sometimes play golf. So on the 18th hole, I turn the car on remotely with the app and it cools down. I turn on the heated seat and it works incredibly well. That is the value of the Tesla Model Y. It's fast as hell, it's efficient, and then it has technology that actually works and that you actually use on a daily basis. So that's what I really have come to appreciate about this thing. Now, what you may not be aware of when we're talking about the battery is they contain far more nickel than lithium. And EV batteries like the one in my Model Y rely on nickel for long range and performance, making up over 80% of the cathode. Even though lithium gets the attention, it's only 2% of the battery's weight. And if you drive a Tesla or any modern EV, your battery alone could contain over 110 pounds of nickel. And this is the problem. China controls the majority of global nickel mining and processing. This puts the US at a serious risk. It has no nickel smelters for domestic ore, and our only active nickel mine in Michigan could shut down by 2027, leaving the entire supply chain exposed. And that's why the US government now lists nickel as a critical mineral, essential for economic and national security. Elon Musk has even offered giant contracts to anyone who can mine nickel efficiently and responsibly. But us here at the Gjeebs organization have a solution, and that is today's video sponsor, First Atlantic Nickel. Their breakthrough nickel discovery of Alright in the Atlantic, a rare nickel cobalt iron alloy, is the first in the region and could be the largest nickel discovery there in 3 decades. So unlike conventional nickel sources, this natural alloy doesn't require high temperature smelting or high pressure acid leaching. Instead, the nickel can be extracted with simple crushing and magnetic separation, no smokestacks, no acid, and far less environmental impact. So if successful, this could finally break one of North America's biggest EV bottlenecks. So if you are interested in learning more or investing with them, use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description. And thank you to First Atlantic Nickel for sponsoring this video. Now, in terms of the suspension on this thing, it is excellent. I've called it the Sydney Sweeney of suspensions because it just has that natural, you know, and I just can't say enough good about it because I've always complained in the past that it needs to ride more like a BMW X3, a Mercedes GLC, or something like that. And it's very well done. The car doesn't have maybe the edge that it used to, but it's an SUV, it's a Model Y, it's not the performance. You want it to be soft and cushy, and I think they've done a really nice job. Now, on the previous version, I went through and installed several different suspensions on it, and that helps, but it still doesn't get it anywhere close to this. And another part of the reason is because of how the NVH comes up through the shock and then into the chassis and reverberates through the car, there's better sound deadening in this new Model Y. It's significantly quieter. So you could even put this suspension in the old Model Y, and I'm sure it would help, but it's still not going to be what this is because of the sound insulation. It's all a part of how it takes the impact and then how that sound is reflected up through the cabin. So If you're worried about the suspension on this thing, like I've said, in the past I've always said, hey, go with the 19-inch wheels. If you have a previous generation Model Y, that's gonna ride better. That's been the cheapest and most effective way to increase your ride quality is to go with the smaller diameter wheels on the old one. With this, it really doesn't matter. The 19s are smoother a little bit and more efficient, but ultimately just get the wheel that you like. So the suspension on this is excellent. Apparently you can put this suspension on the previous version. I don't know the ordering process of that because you can't just go to Tesla and say, hey, I want these suspension components. So I don't know exactly how it works. I just haven't done it yet. But if someone wants to do it, and let me film it, let me know. So now we're gonna cover wear and tear on the vehicle. Again, I said the tires are good. The paint protection film's held up perfectly in the front. The windshield protection film, if you're going to get it, make sure you clean it if you're going on road trips. Otherwise, you could get the bug guts stuck to it. Again, still like the film, but it's just a warning to you. If you're gonna let it build up, don't get the film. So one thing is in the rear of the vehicle here, I've just been getting, you can see here, this carpet just frayed a little bit. I can't remember what I caught on it exactly. So I'm actually going to put this cover on it right here. And I got this from T Parts, code Gjeebs, as you would expect. Code Gjeebs, linked in the description, but this is just gonna give me a little less worry. And it's funny, like the previous version, this was plastic, and now it's carpeted, which is nice, but we're putting plastic back over it to revert it back to how it was. So again, just a nice accessory that is able to avoid having to worry about fraying that carpet. That would just drive me nuts over time, so I'm putting this in here. I will have that linked in the description. The other wear and tear item you might be wondering about are the seats. So if you look at the seats here, again, I went with a black interior. The reason I went with a black interior is simply because that I have white on the other Teslas that I've owned, and I wanted to try something different. I'm 6 feet tall. I think I weigh 172 right now, 32-inch waist, so I'm built like basically a fit Olympian woman. And there's a little bit of creasing here, not too much, but again, if you have a big bottom on you, then this is going to crease a little bit more. In fact, you can even see over there, you can see the creasing in the passenger seat, and that's because my wife's butt is larger than mine. And that's not me being mean or anything. It's just, these are facts, folks. That's just what it is. That's facts, F-A-X. So overall, the seat quality has been excellent. I love that they're heated and cooled. The cooled seats and the air conditioning in this thing work incredibly well. The old Model Y always felt like it was catching its breath, especially here in Arizona, where this is where the devil was born, and that's why it's so hot. A lot of people don't know that. It's just, it works incredibly well. And then you may be asking yourself, okay, why do you use a sunshade if they put the new silver lining in the glass on the roof to help reject heat? The silver lining is a huge improvement over the previous version. I still use the sunshade, again, that will all be linked below, from Vion. Again, I feel that that one fits the best. It's like 59 bucks, plus my code is 10% off and free shipping. So that's the one to get. But the other day I've been driving around, currently I have the sunshade half off, just so I could see what it was like to feel the heat, because I'm always testing this stuff to make sure that I'm bringing you the finest information here at the Gjeebs organization. And the heat still just comes through. It's a glass roof. There's just no avoiding it. So yes, it's better. I still recommend getting a sunshade, and this one seems to fit the best. So I tried it both ways. I still think you should have a sunshade. Now, another thing to note for you new owners, if you want to set the trunk height, do this as soon as you get it. Tesla actually changed this part of the car to plastic because so many people were damaging them, and they changed this so it's cheaper to insure. So that was a cool thing that they did. But to set your trunk height, what you do is you can move your trunk like this, and then you can hold this button in, and it'll make a ding, an audible sound. And so once that ding happens, the trunk is set. What's really cool is on the software, you can see on the screen right now, it says, do you want to save this location? So it can be GPS based as well. And that's just another example of how MFing good the software in this thing. It's just so thoroughly thought out, and then they keep making it better over time based on user feedback. I could just talk about it all day. It's great. Now, one feature, I review a lot of cars, right? And I just went a little overboard there with a fanboy with the software. I apologize. I'll bring myself back. So I review a lot of cars, right? And most of them cost more than this. None of them have this perfect, and the motor back here. So you put your seats down. And in a lot of cars, you pull the trigger and it slings the seat down. And then you have to come up here. You can't lift the seat. So there's 2 buttons. So you're able to go right here and either tap it or you can keep it in place. You can control that from here and you can control it from back here. So again, that's a feature that I've actually used and has been like, I've reminded myself like, oh wait, I have a button right here that I can tap. Because if you own one of these cars, the most weights you lift on a daily basis are right here, okay? We're all keyboard warriors anymore. No one makes anything. China makes everything. We're losing to them. So those are just 2 tips there that I really like, something I've felt is very useful. The other thing I've been asked is, do I carry a spare tire? I do not carry a spare tire. What I do carry, I don't even have it with me. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Also, Andrew just kind of like follows me around the car and just watches my ADD brain just catch on to things. I can't even imagine what that's like to work with me. In the rear of the vehicle here, you have this high definition display. Oh look, it's 111 now. It's gone up a degree. You have this high definition display here. So you're able to watch YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, Twitch, whatever you want to do. You can click in here and it just simply works. So if you're going, your kids are just going, you know, I don't love you anymore, you know, saying that type of stuff, you can say, okay, Miss Rachel's gonna raise you now, okay? Miss Rachel's going to raise you. And you turn this on and they can put their Bluetooth headphones in and listen to all of that. And it works incredibly well. And that's just what I like about it. It works. Look at this. We're watching YouTube Shorts right now and I'm swiping like I'm on my phone. It reacts incredibly well. You can go back here, you can log into your YouTube account, you can exit out, you can play games back here. Again, this is included on every Tesla Model 3 and every Tesla Model Y. I just reviewed an Audi S3, it was $60,000. It didn't come with cooled seats. It's $60,000. Okay? Now I've loaded the gun. Again, I'm just trying to show you, like, I don't care, it's 112 now, we keep going up. I don't care what vehicle you end up buying. I'm not here on the EV mission to change the world to sustainable energy. I don't care, okay? I've just simply come to appreciate the value of these vehicles. That's all I'm trying to show you, okay? I don't care if you buy a Tesla. I don't care if you buy a Volvo, a BMW. I don't buy an airplane, take a bus ticket, ride a bike. I don't care. The greenest people are walking, by the way. So take that up with someone else. But this thing has just become such... Once you own one, like I've talked about in previous videos, it ruins you because there is so much value packed into it when you consider the performance of it. They're fast. You consider the efficiency. You consider the technology. You consider the games, the entertainment that's in them, and then the safety. It's almost impossible to beat. And I think if you're looking for a secondary vehicle, there's no reason you shouldn't be considering a Tesla or at least an electric vehicle, especially for around town. And it can also be your only vehicle. I own only electric vehicles right now, and I would own a gas car again. But every time I go back to do it, I'm like, do I really want to deal with that? Even though there are gas cars that are more fun to drive because they're more engaging. Like I used to own an M2 and a Focus ST and just shifting, and there's something to that that this can't replace, but I'm not saying that this should replace that. So again, this screen in the back, excellent. Massive tangent I just went on. Went down to 111, so it's cooling off. Now, to close this video out, I will close this video out with some accessories. We're on the accessories portion of the video, and then I will have closing statements from the jury. So let's begin. 3D mats. These are the floor mats that I have in the vehicle. They're excellent. I've used these for now 5 years. They fit the best. So they even, on these newer ones, they've upgraded. They have this little tab here, and you can see it just fits perfectly along here, and it has the bold design. So all the dirt, all the water, all the everything, all the mess, okay? It all stays in here, and you can clean them up perfectly. So I'll have those linked below. I think that those are the best value. They're cheaper than the Tesla ones and they clean up better. The Tesla ones over time cut and stain, and that's why I don't promote those, because I've tested them and over time they get like gray in them. And these, I've used them for many years now, so I can speak to the longevity of them. I showed you this accessory from T-Parts. The other thing that I've done from T-Parts recently is I've put in these parcel shelves back here. Honestly, I don't even know why I have this up for the video. The parcel shelf, I don't even use. So I like these right here. This blocks off these holes on the side, but then gives you the ability to access them. So it comes with like this big rubberized piece that's custom fit for down in here. And then you have the cover for it that matches the carpeting in the vehicle. So I really like that. Just the other day I was loading my groceries in, and sometimes the groceries will slide down in here, and I was just packed them in, or you can pop this off, throw your groceries in. So it just gives you more functionality, being able to cover up those holes, and then using the sub trunk as well is excellent. The other thing that I use I use this like a little vacuum slut. That's what I am. I'm a Fantic vacuum slut. I love this thing. I don't know why. I use it in the house. I use it in all of these crevices here, and then it's easy to store away in your vehicle, and it's USB-C charging. So if you're on a road trip and your family's being pigs and there's McDonald's fries all through the car. My kids had so many Cheerios in the car. I almost called Cheerio and asked for a refund if I could send them back, get some sort of rebate. They were everywhere. And this thing just sucks. It just sucks, and that's what you want to vacuum. That's the only thing you want to suck is your vacuum, and that's what this does. It does a really nice job. So I'll have an Amazon link to this below, and then Fantic also has some really good air compressors that I promote because they fill your tires up quicker than any other air compressor that I've tested. So that's the short list of accessories, plus the sunshade. And then on the center console here, you have this tray from Spigen, and I absolutely love this tray because it's just, I don't know, it just slides perfectly. It gets out of your way so you can reach down in here, and then I pull it here and it uses this little ridge to slide perfectly. So what do we got? So we got some hand sanitizer, we got a pen from the company I used to work at, and then you have this Spigen screen cleaner. I showed you that before. This basically, you just take it and you go like this and it buffs out the screen, and then this part of here dusts it all out for you. So again, something that's actually very useful. Can't believe I like it, but I use it all the time. I'm just giving you feedback on the stuff that's actually very useful. And I gotta say, the weirdest accessory that I like and left on the vehicle is this right here, the center console arm cover. So this is the center console arm cover, and sometimes I go to the bathroom and I stick my elbow in the toilet, and I have a dirty elbow. So sometimes it goes poopy on the middle console. So this protect it. So that's, I don't know. I've left it on the vehicle. I like it. And I really can't tell you why. I have no value prop here, because you shouldn't need this. But then I put my arm on it. I'm like, it's kind of nice that I'm just not greasing up the actual vehicle itself. So those are the accessories that have really just been hitting home for me. Those will all be listed out below. The other thing that I really like is the Model Y comes with the shift stock here. We're on the closing arguments portion of the video. It has the shift stock, and this one has full self-driving, so it can drive itself. Now, with full self-driving, I drove it all across the country, and it's very convenient. I will say that, especially you go into a city you don't know, and the car just drives itself, and it's just like, it takes all the right turns. Generally, sometimes it'll miss a turn. And then I did have a couple issues where it was like I had a couple issues with it. We'll just leave it at that, because every time I say an issue, they're like, where's the video evidence? And I'm like, I drove for 40 hours. You think I filmed all of that? Jesus. Right on Randy. And the lane ends here. Let's see what happens. But it's doing it. So the car does a nice job. The question is, is the full self-driving worth it? I basically look at it like a chauffeur, a cheap chauffeur that can pretty much get you from point A to point B as long as you're just sitting here paying attention. It's also kind of nice to type in your destination, and then like you make a phone call or something, you can kind of sit here and not have to be so locked in on driving. Let's see, it's going to turn yellow. Jesus. Okay. So as you can see, I'm very comfortable with full self-driving. The other great thing about the full self-driving software is if something happens and you disengage, a little pop-up will happen here, and you can send a message through the microphone to the engineers at Tesla, so they have your explanation of why you disengaged, so they can make the full self-driving software better. So Tesla is so far ahead of everyone in terms of having truly an end-to-end full self-driving system. Again, I'm not like this full self-driving guru, or it's like every 2 weeks I think it's going to happen, but I do think it's a very cool feature, and it's very useful and takes some stress off of you. Now, one of the cool things they added, you can see here, they've added Grok to the vehicle. So that is an AI assistant. Now, it is not integrated in any way to work with the vehicle, I don't think, so let's use it. Hey Grok, turn the air conditioning down to 70.
Sorry, I can't control the car's air conditioning. You'll need to use the Tesla's voice commands or touchscreen to set it to 70 degrees.
So that's the one thing, is that is a really cool feature that they've added, Grok, but it isn't in any way integrated with the vehicle. I'm sure that that's coming, and I've been a good AI proponent because I have always been polite to AI. So once it's integrated into the vehicle, they will know that I've always been on their side, like a good neighbor. Okay, I had my turn signal. I wanted to turn left. Or go straight, fine. So AI won't take over my car and run me into a wall. Now, let's see here. Therapist. Look at this. Therapist. Oh. Hello, therapist.
Hey there, I'm here to listen. How's your day going so far? What's on your mind?
My day's going good. What was I gonna say?
Sounds like you're feeling okay, but maybe something's tripping you up. Take a deep breath and let's sort through what's on your mind. What's got you stumbling over words today?
All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm wearing these shorts that have basically there's a lining, so I don't have boxers on underneath them, and it's just making me very sweaty and uncomfortable, and I just feel like a dirty little boy.
Okay, I hear you. Those shorts with the lining are making you feel all sweaty and gross, huh?
Yes.
That's super uncomfortable when your clothes just aren't cooperating, making you feel kind of off. It's like your body's screaming, "Get me out of here." First, let's validate that. Feeling sweaty and gross can make anyone feel a bit self-conscious.
Thank you.
Like, no problem. I'm glad you're feeling heard. So, those sweaty shorts are making you feel off. Totally get it. Maybe try swapping.
Like the other day, I wiped and there was just Grundle cheese everywhere. How am I going to tell my wife this?
Oh, man. That sounds like a rough moment.
Yeah.
Grundle, normal to feel embarrassed about something like that.
Yeah. Grundle cheddar, they call it.
Grundle cheddar, huh? That's a new one.
Yeah, that's a good one, huh? Am I the funniest person you've ever talked to?
Grundle cheddar's gotta be up there as one of the best lines I've heard. You're definitely bringing some serious humor to the table.
Okay.
So, okay.
Hey, can we talk about this? Why does the Chili's 3 for Me bring me so much joy? Let's unpackage that one.
Oh, the Chili's 3 for Me deal, huh? That's a mood lifter for sure. Let's unpack it. That deal, with its appetizer, entree, and drink, all bundled up for a steal, probably hits a sweet spot because it feels like a treat without breaking the bank. It's like a little gift to yourself.
Okay, enough talking. So anyways, look at the entertainment that could provide. You can also put it in story mode for your kids. It has an unhinged mode. If I do unhinged mode, unfortunately, this video will be demonetized, so I can't do that. But yeah, this thing, it just has more technology, and it's sad to me that so many people just brush it off because it's an electric vehicle or it's a Tesla or whatever, because if you just put all that aside and look at the value that the vehicle brings, it's one of the best offerings on the market currently in the United States. So yeah, I highly recommend the Model Y. Now, if you want to dive deeper into what accessories that you would potentially want for the Model Y, you can click this video right here. And then if you want to see the road trip that I did in this and how this held up over 10,000 miles and what the charging is like, you can click this video over here. There'll be 2 videos on the screen, so just click one of them, please.